So if you're gonna tile over tile, I've got the solution. It literally says the solution for tiling over tile. Hey, John here. So the question I was having, can I put tile over tile, porcelain tile over an existing ceramic tile floor in particular? And wasn't sure. Looked a few things up, did a few moves, and just figured I'd show you my result here. And I'll probably try to post this maybe, I don't know, once a year if I remember, just to see how it's holding up, because that was the whole key. Whether forget about whether you can do it or not. Of course you can do anything, right? But is it going to be holding up? So I started in here, and there's a few things that I had to do prior to just laying tile down. The first thing I did was maybe a year or two ago is raise this door up. It is a little higher, but that's a new door. I needed a new door anyway, so at the time, the rough opening, there's always a couple inches of spare, so I moved it up a little bit. That was just a I knew I was going to do this floor in the future, so, but if you have to move a door up like this fella, you don't have to move anything really. I just took the door off and cut a 1/4 inch off the bottom, and there's about yay much that you can deal with. That's all wood, not hollow, so that was easy to do. The other doors were able to clear, so I didn't have to do any moves there. Just these two doors I had to monkey with, and cutting the jambs, laying down a piece of tile. I'll show you some of the stuff that I filmed to get the tile to get underneath, and of course taking the baseboards and all that stuff off is no brainer. And then we kind of moved some furniture as we went, and I did it in stages. I started in there's a closet around the corner there. I started in there and just came this way, did a little bit so we could still function. There's a washer and dryer in there, so we could still function and not tie this whole place up because I'm doing it myself. It would have been too long to tie up. As I said, need to go to work, need to do all this stuff. So stages, did this part, that part, and then I think I did under refrigerator, and then the next move was over there, and I think these last two stages here, and of course this was the last bit here, marrying it up to the wood floor, and that's even Steven now. Before it was down lower, and that was another reason why I wanted to do the tile over tile. Was to take the other tile up was just going to be so problematic, and wasn't sure. For instance, behind the stove there, I had to take a piece of tile up when I built this cabinet here, and it was just a nightmare. It was a nightmare to get up. Some of the plywood came up with it, and I was thinking, if I got to take all this old tile up, it's going to be a nightmare. Too long, too much of a demo. That was one of the decisions why I wanted to go tile over tile. Anyways, like I said, it came out good. It's been a week or two now. I'm going to go ahead and just show you some moves that I made that are probably key in terms of how you could put tile over tile. There are no cracks in this original tile, and there's no squeaks in the floor. This thing is solid as, I was going to say solid as Sears, but it is rock solid. So I'm going to start in this little mudroom area. So like I said, if you did have cracked tiles or loose tiles or whatever, then it'd be a good idea to take them up, right? But these are, like I said, they're cemented in there. But we're going to have to take a piece of tile, the new tile, and cut, we'll put it on the floor and use a jam saw or whatever we need to cut the molding. Cut the molding where our new tile will slip under it. So the original floor was done by not cutting the molding, and they just pieced it around. As you can see, cut the tile around the molding, which it's easy to take this stuff and just use a jam saw and get that molding cut away so we could slip the tile under there. So the closet door that I just showed you in there has plenty of room underneath the door for tile over tile. This is going to be too close, so we're actually going to have to trim this door on the bottom here, not by much, 1/4 inch, not even. This tile here is what I'm going to be using for the floor, right? And it won't, as you can see, it won't slide under there. But that's going to represent the tile, and then this is just another piece of tile for something else I have. That's going to represent the thin set, right? So then I'm going to go ahead and make a score with a jam saw. All right, we'll just get in there, make that line the best we can, because it'll be flat on flat, and then we'll finish it up with a power saw, a plunge cutter. So just doing a dry fit here. So I'm using the using not the 1/4 inch, but the eighth inch. So putting them sideways, and that's my spacing on that. So the straight cuts are pretty straightforward, and this is a relatively cheap wet saw. They make the more expensive ones, kind of like a radial arm saw. This just kind of I don't know, you go back far enough, these were expensive. They're relatively cheap now. So again, going over tile over tile, it is what it is, but actually it makes it a little easier in terms of lining the new tiles up as opposed to just being on a floor where you'd have to draw lines or, you know, measure. I'm just following these lines because they're perfect. So when you're cutting, you need to fill in this piece here and try to measure everything with tile, you know, with the tiles. It's kind of difficult. So get yourself a piece of cardboard, right? And you know, use the cardboard and then take this and transfer it to the cardboard. And of course, magic marker would do the trick, but the tile saw, you know, wet saw, it just kind of erases this line. So what I'm going to do is put some masking tape. So I, you know, when the saw is going, this stuff kind of melts right away almost instantly. But if we put the tape on there for our line, something like this, so now we could cut that out, right? So that's the piece that's probably the most intricate one I had to cut out. And so from here back, it's just basically along the walls. So everything's spaced out. I just did this tile that up against the wall there fits this way. So at least, you know, I'll have this area done. So let's move on to the next step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these up and put them in, I don't know, so in another room, lay it out like this. I'm going to wipe them all down, get some residue off. And then we'll get to the floor, prepping the floor and cleaning and getting this prepared for this section. Alright, so that's our playing field here. We got it, so I swept it, vacuumed it, and then I took some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and wiped the floor down because we're about to prime this. Got everything clean. So if you're gonna tile over tile, I've got the solution. It literally says the solution for tiling over tile. Anyways, I picked this up at MBP at Home Depot. And it's pretty straightforward. You just apply a thin coat. Crazy. It's supposed to turn into sandpaper. So this stuff's awesome. It's like 60 grit sandpaper, you know, and it's stuck to it. I even took a razor and tried to scrape it. That's good stuff. Anyways, I'm going to bring some tiles up, and I'm going to mix this thin set up. But I bought some thin set that I did some research on. It's supposedly it's great stuff for tile over tile application. Alright, so that's what we're going to be working with, this 253 gold adhesive mortar, as far as I can tell. Everything I try to look up, what's the best stuff for tile over tile, has kept popping up. A little bit pricey, but so I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch by 3/8 trowel. So I'm going to use about there's directions on the bag if you're going to use the whole bag, how much water to use, but we're just going to wing it. Mix that up, and we're going to let that stand 5 to 10 minutes according to the directions. I just didn't want to mix up a whole bag and just waste that much, you know, because like I said, it's not exactly wicked expensive, but it's not cheap either. So, alright, so a couple things as I'm going here. So if this is your first time doing tile, there's a little learning curve, right? But it's pretty simple stuff. Even if you've done it before and haven't done it in a while, learning curve, right? So I'm just doing a few tiles at a time, because if you were to mud this all up and then, you know, it's kind of, I'm just doing a little bit of a time. And, like I said, learning curve, half a bag. So I thought, I'm almost out of this stuff, so I should have mixed up more. But then again, how much do you want to mix, right? A half a bucket of this, it's pretty hard to mix. I have a power mixer, but still. So I'm going to finish up whatever this does and then call that a day. Just because, again, I want to see how this reacts to stepping on it, you know, in 24 hours, just
walking on it, see if there's any problems before I go ahead and continue.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I'm not going to show the whole tile job. The purpose of this video was to see if we can go tile over tile, which I know you could, but you know, there's people that have their own, you know, yes, there's a lot of yes and hell no's, and so anyways, time will tell. I will try to update this video, you know, every so often just to see how it's holding up. And I think the key ingredients were the MP, the stuff I found from Home Depot, the blue stuff you paint down, it turns to like a really uh, coarse texture. That coupled with the 253 gold, I believe this, you know, this stuff's going to last forever. So anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Yeah.